Christian Weiss. I'm a 1983 graduate of Riverside High School, and I'm here to talk today. We're making a video to debunk the notion that the Riverside and John R. buildings are obsolete and in bad shape and need to be torn down. Okay, I'm here to show you many reasons why they do not need to be torn down and why we can continue to work with these buildings, upgrade some things that may be necessary to be upgraded, but I want to show you so you can see with your own eyes. And I invite you guys, come down to the school, okay? Take a walk around and look at the building, okay? The school district has, with this levy, issue 1 on May 3rd of 2022, is putting forth the notion that our school is in poor condition and we have to replace it for a cost of $147.7 million. But what they're not telling you is there's an additional $135 million in interest over 37 years. So this is going to cost more than $282 million. And since they have not, as of yet, created a blueprint, specifications, not even a floor plan, not even an artist's rendering of the building, they don't even know what they're going to build yet. Okay, so how can they possibly peg it at a cost point? They've also put forth that the cost of renovation and additions to the existing buildings is going to be 85% of replacement cost. I don't believe that to be true. Now you may wonder, what do I have to do? What's my qualifications to give that opinion? Okay, so let me give you a little bit of my background. I'm a graduate not only of Riverside in 1983, but a graduate of the Ohio State University with degrees in engineering. Okay, I have worked in construction since 1990. I've owned my own construction companies that did not only residential but commercial and industrial construction work. I have worked for the Lincoln Electric Company as a plant engineer, where we renovated an entire plant for the motor division. I have worked for Bechtel Power, which is one of the largest multinational construction companies in the world. And specifically, I worked on the Elm Road Generating Station project, which was a $3.2 billion, 2 800 megawatt coal-fired steam-powered turbine units for Wisconsin Energy and the people of the greater Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. At the time, it was the largest construction project in the history of the state of Wisconsin. Additionally, I worked on another campus, Prairie States Power Generating, which was in Lively Grove, Illinois, just 50 miles east of St. Louis. After that, I worked as an engineer for Morton Salt at the Paynesville Township mine, the Morton Salt mine, and have a lot of experience with capital improvement and maintenance projects there. So I'm 56 years old. I have spent 37 years working in the construction industry at all levels, from building decks. I was the original founder of Decksmith, to building homes as Cornerstone Properties and Homes, and the companies I've just named. So let's take a look at our building a little bit. Okay, folks, we're here outside the west end of the building here, and what I want to show you is, what is this school made of? Okay, this is a brick wall. Okay, brick is a type of construction that arguably can last hundreds of years, multiple hundreds of years. If I were to take you to the East Coast or to Europe, I could show you educational buildings at prep schools, high schools, universities that are more than 200 years old, that obviously in that amount of time have had renovation and upgrades done into them. Buildings that were built before central heating, before electricity, before interior lighting existed, and before indoor plumbing, certainly. And those buildings have all been upgraded over the centuries and are still in use today at high schools and universities and prep schools all up and down the eastern seaboard, as well as throughout Europe. Okay, so even though we're in the Midwest and 200 years ago this was the frontier, okay, it doesn't mean that a 73-year-old building is ready for the wrecking ball. When we look at brick, okay, what you look at to determine is there a problem, you look at the mortar joints. Okay, mortar is a sacrificial element of a brick wall. Mortar is designed to be the component of the wall that degrades over time and eventually will need to be repaired. And that process is called tuck pointing. Any mason knows about that. What they do is they grind out part of the mortar joint and they put more mortar in and they strike it clean and then they wash the building, okay? We don't need to tuck point the building right at this point. These mortar joints are in good condition, okay? As I scrape it, there's a little bit of mortar comes off, but not much. There's not major cracks in it. The bricks are not falling out of the building. Here's an area down here that could use a little bit of a repair, okay? The mortar has eroded away a little more. And that's not unusual because this is where the snow lays against the building. This is where the salt gets put to de-ice the sidewalk so our children aren't falling when they come into the building, okay? This is a minor repair, and it's actually part of maintenance that a maintenance crew should be doing, okay? Additionally, the building has many sandstone elements to it, accents. We see these over on the windows. If we pan over this way, all of our windowsills are stone, and the accent bands around here. But as you look at the exterior of the building, you can easily tell that it is not falling apart. The gutters are in good shape. All the downspouts are connected. They are connected into an underground water retrieval system that will direct that flow of water either to, I'm going to presume it goes to the storm sewer, okay? We have exterior lighting on the building. Now, exterior lighting could be upgraded to LED, which would save us some energy. Energy that we're going to later talk about with the electrical system, where we want to change around outlets and things in some of the classrooms so that we can provide for more electronic devices that also require energy, okay? Our roof line here, the parapet, is even in good condition. It doesn't even really need any paint. There's a little bit of staining where the water flowed over the gutter and a little bit of paint chipping. Again, that is a very minor repair. It's part of normal maintenance. Those of you that live in homes that are 20 or more years old have probably had to do some of these repairs to your home. Okay, that's pretty much it. One other area I'd like to direct your attention to is the overhang on the door, okay? You'll notice that it has black roofing tiles. These are actually slate, okay? Slate, and in fact, all of the pitched roofs on both buildings have slate roofs on them, okay? Slate is one of the best construction materials, dating even from the time when the building was originally constructed, in that most roofing contractors will tell you that a slate roof will last, on average, 100 to 150 years, okay? We look at the flashings, which are copper. How do we know they're copper? Because they've stained green over time. But the flashings are intact. None of the brick along the flashings has any popped mortar joints, okay? So I can look at that and tell you there's nothing that needs repaired with that at this time. We're now on the back side of the Riverside School building. The board offices are to my left, and we're behind the gym here. And I just wanted to point out an area where there is a repair needed, okay? If we look up above the door, we see a crack going from the door lintel on up, and it continues a ways. We see some of the mortar on this accent band from the window lintel to the other window lintel, where the mortar is missing out of it. Once again, that's an area that needs repaired. But while it's an area that does need repaired, it's a relatively minor one. It's also a maintenance issue, okay? This is not a tear down the building issue, okay? And in fact, the maintenance director should have addressed this problem years ago, because it took years for the mortar to get into that kind of shape. Now, how do we fix that? Well, we bring a couple masons in with a little bit of scaffolding and mortar. They grind out the rest of the mortar that's failed, and they tuck point it, which literally means they take a pastry bag of mortar and squeeze that in there like you'd squeeze toothpaste out or decorate a cake, and you pack that joint with mortar, fresh mortar, and then you strike it with a striker tool, okay? You let it dry, you clean the brick off. Sometimes they'll acid wash the outside of the brick to get any mortar staining off of it, and you're done. That's about it. This repair would take 2 competent masons. I would estimate 2 days, maybe 2.5 days. That's a repair that should cost less than $2,500 to do. And by the way, this is the first area where I saw that needed real maintenance since we were on the west side of the building. We are now on the north side, or the rear of the school. Thank you. All right, I'm at one of the windows on the north side of the hallway. I'm about 50 feet to the east of the elevator. And what I want to point out here, once again, it's a thermal pane window. This window does not open. Presumably, we don't want the students opening a window and climbing out onto the roof. But what I want to point out on the roof, this is one of the photos we see in the flat roof area over the attendance office and parts of the locker room, boys' locker room, I presume. What we're looking at is an aluminized built-up roof system. The gray area, that's actual aluminum flake that is in the roofing membrane compound. It's designed to do several things. It gives better wear for people that have to walk on the roof. It reflects sunlight, and it gives a better barrier to moisture going through there. I've been told by a commercial roofing contractor that 100% being a perfect job, this represents a 95% job. I don't see any maintenance or repair issues that are on this roof, okay? What we can see here is a stack vent coming out, which lets the gases from toilets come up out of the building rather than having them come inside the building. Every home has a stack vent on it. We see that the copper counter flashing and the aluminized flashing coming up from the roof deck are all intact. I don't see any rips or tears in it. And if you look up over my shoulder at the slate roof system, okay, the bulk of the Riverside High School building and parts of John R. have a slate roof on them. That is a pitched roof, looks to be about an 8 to 12 pitch, which is steep enough that the snow won't hang up on there, okay? And a properly installed slate roof will easily last 100 years. Some people would say it's a 150-year roof, okay? There are a couple things I see up there. I see a cap slate that's missing, okay? I see some discoloration on some of the slate, which would be a maintenance issue. Again, not a tear down the school issue, but a maintenance issue.